Welcome to the warm-up. It's a full body functional warm-up. So what I want you to do is we're gonna do side to side torso rotation. It's a great way to warm up your hip and your core and really just get the body loose and ready for the work to come. So you're gonna do side to side on this, elbow around shoulder height, twist your feet as I do in the video. We're gonna do half minute on this, and then we're gonna do a side bend with the reach through. So what you need to focus on here is just shoot your hip out and then reach to the other side. It's really the side, you're gonna feel it stretching on your side, a little bit on the lats, shoulders, maybe if you're tight, but you really wanna work out on the outside of your thighs, your hip and your obliques. So once we're done with the half minute on each side, just alternate this, then we're gonna go and then we're gonna do some walkout push-ups. Right, so on the walkout push-ups, I want you to go into the shoulder width stance. You're gonna squat down, walk out into a push-up position. You can lower your body, like fully to the ground. If you cannot do push-up, it's fine. You just wanna walk, put your knee down, hip down, as I do it here in the video. Of course, if you can do a push-up, then you just push yourself all the way down, all the way up. But you can always just lower your body and then go up by lifting your chest up first, your hip and your knee. Once you got up in a full push-up position, you can start walking back into a squat. And then once you're back into squat, push your heel down before you get up. And then you're gonna go into a full lookout. So you're gonna do 1 minute on this, or if you don't have a timer, it's like 5, 6, you can do in 1 minute. And then once we're done with this, we're gonna do some reverse lunges, I think. Yeah. So we're gonna do some reverse lunges here. We're gonna alternate legs. Two things you need to pay attention here is pushing the heel down and then arrive into a 90-90 position. So 90 degree in the front leg and 90 degree in the rear leg. So you don't want to step too far back that your rear leg is straight, because you're gonna hurt your hip flexors. You really want to drop down on the rear leg, but find your balance. So your toes and your heel still hitting the ground. Your heel doesn't come off, your toe doesn't come up. I'm just showing a different angle, how you should look from the side and for the front. You just really want to warm up your knee joints here, ankle, hip, and I like to do like I was going to aim to touch my heel or touch my ankles, so it makes me stay forward. My knee doesn't travel forward that much. Next exercise is an inchworm. So what we're doing here is it's a hamstring stretch. Basically, you can bend your back as much as you want, but try to keep your hamstrings straight. As you can see, I'm really tight on this, and I find most people struggle with this a lot because of the hamstring flexibility. So it's a great way to not just warm up the hamstring, but also the lower back and the abs on the walk up. So because of that, when you touch down and you walk out, you're gonna feel your hamstring. But as you go up to your hand with your feet, then your ab has to work, because you're constantly pulling your leg in towards to your chest. So your abs are activating as well. So it's really a full body warm-up exercise. So we're gonna do 6 on this, 3 on one side. Once you go on the other side, stay there, turn around and walk back. So you can just do singles, but you can do it in a small space. So you don't need big space for this exercise. Okay, once we're done with the 6, we're gonna do some side lunges. You wanna stay in the middle of the mat or somewhere in your space to go on both sides, because we're gonna alternate legs here. And then really you want to focus the same thing as you do in the reverse lunge. So you're gonna step outside, load your heel and your glutes. So don't let your knee go forward. Make sure your toes are always pointing forward so you're not stepping on the side, and try to line up your feet so the stepping out foot is not going forward then much further than the leg which is stationary. And you're always gonna keep the trail leg straight, so don't move your knee even after going back. I see that people struggle with that. Is this exercise gonna stretch your inner thighs more than anything, but also on the stationary leg, but also the dynamic leg, which is bending. It's gonna work on your glutes and your hip flexor. From here we're gonna do basic air squats. This is very easy. We don't want to go crazy on this. It's just to warm up. So we really just want to get the squatting mechanism right. So you just want to have a nice, roughly a shoulder width stance, but it really just depends on your mechanics. I like to go shoulder width, and just try to drop down to parallel, so your thighs hitting parallel with the floor. You don't have to go crazier down or but neither half squats. So you really want to do just go down to knee level, come back up. You can raise up your arm kind of like a balance, and we're gonna do 1 minute on this exercise. Roughly you can do 20-25 on this if you do it in a good rhythm, but again, this is not training yet, this is just to warm up. So if you do 10 in this, then you do 10, just make sure it's right and you're not falling, you get your balance. Okay, next exercise, side plank hold. Very simple. It could be challenging if you've never done this before, because it's going to challenge your shoulder. So what you want to do is push a position, rotate on the side, your other arm goes up to the ceiling. You want to go and try to open up the chest, and you also have to rotate your feet at the same time. So don't keep your heel up high, your heel has to touch the floor as you rotate from side to side. I like to hold it for 5 seconds each side. You roughly can make 4 or 5 each side in a minute. So you go turn, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then twist to the other side, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, once you're done with this, you're gonna stay on your knees, perfect position. You wanna square up your knees and your palms, and then we're gonna do an opposite hold. So you're gonna lift up your opposite limbs, arms and leg, and then you try to hold this for 5 seconds. We're gonna do 5 each side. So hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're gonna switch side, do the same. Now we're gonna do 5 on one side, not gonna alternate this, you just make it easier. So you just find your balance on one, and then hold it for 5 seconds, do 5 on one side, and then switch, do 5 on the other. This is gonna really warm up your posterior chain, from your shoulders, your lats, your lower back, glutes, hamstring, really everything on the back side. Okay, the last exercise is gonna be sit-up. 1 minute on this. Try to do with straight leg and straight arm. So you just really want to work from the abs. Don't swing your arms forward, don't swing it back. Just try to keep it off from the equation, and then just use your abs. If it's too difficult, obviously you can bend your knee, or you can use your arms to help yourself up with the swing, as I showed you here. Always make it easier, but I really want to warm up the core, so I'd rather not use my arm if I don't have to. The good thing to reaching up, because it's gonna activate the backside of your body. So by reaching up to the ceiling, it's gonna warm up the shoulder in the same time. So you are showing like an easier variation. You can bend your knee, helping with your arm. Still the same movement, but a little easier variation. So choose whatever fits your fitness level, and that's it. 10 minutes full body warm up, and I'll see you at the workout. Okay, we're gonna train in circuits. That means we're gonna do 3 exercises back to back. The first one is a 1.5 slow squat. We're We're gonna do this on the toes if possible, so heels off the ground. This is a little bit of the balancing and stability exercise. In the same time, we try to keep the tension on the muscle for half minute, sorry. So we're gonna do this for half minute. You do one full squat, you come halfway up and then go back down. That's one repetition, and you go back up, all the way up, and then halfway down, halfway up, sorry, and then come up. So the next one, you get 15 seconds break after this, and then we're gonna do slow push-ups. So this is really slow as possible, and then come back up quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the down, and then come up. Obviously, if you cannot do a push-up, you can still do this on your knees, or you can start from the floor. I'm gonna show you in a second, and then just lower your body down to the floor, and then come back up from that. You're gonna do half minute on this. Probably you can do 5 or 6 on this, and then you get 15 seconds break again. So you get 45 seconds on each exercise with a 15-second break. So you have time to switch to another exercise. Getting ready, and we're gonna do slow sit-up. Basically, it's an eccentric sit-up, so you're gonna do normal on the way up, but again 2-3 seconds down. So very controlled, curving your spine. That's where your abs gonna activate. So you don't wanna just flat slam down on the floor. You wanna be very slowly controlled, vertebrae by vertebrae, touching the floor while you fully lay down, and then come back up. We're gonna do this half minute. Same thing, you get 15 seconds transfer time. Getting ready for the slow eccentric 1.5 squat. So you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway up, and then come back down again, and then come up. That's one repetition. You go 1, 2, 3, halfway up, and then come back down again, boom, and then up. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come back up, halfway down, and then boom, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, and then fully up. Nice. You get a little bit of break, get ready for the push-ups. Again, slow on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, push up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, push up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press. Done. Come back up. Switch to slow sit-ups. Same here. Hey, if you need help with the sit-up here, swing your arm up and then go back down slowly. Quick up, slowly down. So the whole circuit here is focusing on lowering your body down. So if you need help, you can choose like an easier variation. So pushing yourself off from the floor, using your arms for the sit-up, or pushing your heel down for the squats, but you want to go back to position. Lowering your body very slow as possible with full control, and then come back up. So we're gonna do this half minute, done. 15-second break, switch position. Okay, this is gonna be the last round. So this is the third round. Probably getting tired here now, but you just have to push it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway up, and then we go back down. Bang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway up. Don't worry if I mess up a little bit. Sometimes I do as well, as you can see in the video. The key here is just don't lock your joints on the top. So you want to be constant tension on the muscles. Because if you lock your joints up, if you're just standing on your bones, your muscles are not working. And because we don't use weights here, just our body weight, you want to make sure that you fully use the muscle potential as much as you can, so keeping the tension on. So I'm going to show you an easy variation on this. So you just lay down on the floor and you push yourself up like so. So still applying the slow way down, but you can push yourself up with the fashion of just lifting your chest up first, and then your hip, and then your knee, suggesting your body. But everyone should be able to go down slow, because you're always stronger on the way down. That's why we're starting with these exercises, because everyone is stronger on the way down. So it's kind of like a second warm-up round. And then, as you will see, this workout is built up. It's a low repetition, so it's strength training. We're trying to use the hardest exercises possible with different technique, like slowing down or single leg variations, to make sure we're training using our strength rather than conditioning or other workouts you will see in this program. We're almost through there. This is the last repetition. Just control. You can use your arms to swing and then go back down. Now you're gonna have 1 minute break. Tie yourself down. Do whatever else you do. Drink some water, and I'll see you back in 50 seconds. Ready soon. We're coming back from the break in 15 seconds. You will need a pillow here, so get the pillow ready. You can stop the video, get your pillow, and then we're gonna get started in 5 seconds. So we're gonna do single leg squat. What you wanna do is push the knee backwards, bang, and then you try to touch the pillow. Put the knee down, but not your ankle and not your toe. It's kind of like a reverse lunge, but it's a much harder variation because they really cannot help. So your main goal is to lean forward and keep the tension in the front leg. If you do it right, you're gonna feel it on the glutes and your stabilizer muscle. A lot of people are gonna fall on this. Sometimes me as well. You can see sometimes I have to catch my balance, but it's totally normal. It's a hard exercise. You want to push the knee out towards the pinky toe, and just make sure your knee doesn't cave in, and then try to tap the floor with your knee. We're gonna do 5 each leg here, and then the next exercise you will need a paper or something you can slide on. It can be on your socks. This is like a harder variation. It's a floor pull, so we're gonna work on the back and the core at the same time. You're gonna do only 5 to 6 reps here because it's extremely hard. If you don't have a sliding floor, I mean, you can still do this on use a paper on the carpet. It's completely fine. If you can find anything which you can slide on, perfect for your back. Personally, I like to do this on my knees, so I'll show you in the second round. But you can also do this on the toes. It's just a harder variation, but you're gonna feel it on your back a lot. If you don't have a sliding floor, you can just do a walk, like an inchworm, like we did in a warm-up. Okay, now here is a prone twist. So what you want to do here is lay down, put your arms in 45-degree angle, and then we're gonna rotate on the arm. This is great for the shoulders and also lower back. You're gonna feel it on the glutes. Depends how you do it. You can get a little bit more forgiving, like I do this on this round, so you can lift your hip off the ground like I do here to give you more shoulder mobility. And we're gonna do 8 on one side, 8 on the other. So your goal here is to push the support arm down to the floor, and then you're gonna lift the other arm up, just like you would hold a bar in your head, like an overhead squat or like a rod or something like a stick. And then you want to move your upper body together by keeping your lower body on the floor. It's great for the posterior chain. You're gonna feel it on the opposite glute. So on this position, left glute is gonna work a lot, and the right shoulder, so it's the opposite cross section on your back. Once we're done with 8-8, you only have time to set up for the single leg squat, and then we're gonna move 5-5 again. Try to go it slow with the most control possible. I'm gonna show you this angle, how I want your knee look like, so it doesn't cave in. You push it out, boom, and then keep tension on the glute. Once you hit the floor, bang, come back up, pushing through the heel. Try to reach your balance. It's gonna be way easier if you reach forward as far as possible. The more you reach forward, the more you reach back with the leg as well. So try to think about the pendulum or a seesaw. You need to equalize your body. So the more weight on the front, you need to equalize the weight on the back. So 5 on one leg, 5 on the other. You see my knees caving in a little bit here, that's why I'm struggling, so I'm trying to push it out. It's gonna be more balance, so it's getting better in the next couple reps. And then once you're done with the 5-5, you move and then get ready for the floor pull. So I'm gonna show the variation here on my knee, which is, it's easier a little bit, but you're gonna feel much more on the back. This is no joke. It's as you can see how much my back working here. Although my lats, my rear delt, everything on my upper back is working like crazy. You also have to push yourself back probably, so it's gonna be even a little more difficult. But it's a great exercise if you don't have a pull-up bar to train your back. So once we're done with the 6, put it away, and then we're gonna do the prone twist. So we're gonna try a little harder variation this time by keeping your hip on the floor and then just turn from the upper body. Might not gonna work, might not gonna reach that high, but your aim is always to squeeze the shoulder blades together and try to go as far back. Don't care how far you go back, as long as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. Okay, I'm still doing the hip off the floor, but I'll show you soon how to keep the hip down. It's gonna be just a harder variation, but also it's more tightness on the glutes, because your lower body has to stabilize while your upper body is moving. But again, still it's a great corrective exercise, as we are not using equipment, we don't move that much. Maybe you sit too much at home in front of a computer chair, on the TV. So you really want to work the posterior chain, so anything on your back, your glutes, your lower back, and the shoulders, rotator cuff. And this is a great exercise to create some balance in your body. Okay, once you're done, boom, last round. We only have 5 on each leg. The pulls and the prone twist in the last round, and then we have a minute break. So let's push this through. Try to control your body as much as possible. It's probably the hardest round, but this is the last one. So it's always worse to start with your weaker side. Everyone has a weaker side, it's totally normal. That's why we train a lot of single leg, single arm if possible, to create balance again in your body. But always try to use your weaker side first, because it needs more energy, need more just need more strength to do the exercise, because it has less balance. So it's better if you do it fresh, and then your stronger side is always gonna be stronger, so it can take more fatigue. So once we done with the 5-5, get ready for the last 6 pulls. You can do 8, but again, it's extremely difficult. Try to set up best as possible. You want to go as like 1.5 shoulder width apart, so nice and wide grip on the floor, and then pull yourself in, turn back, It's worth to set a little bit higher than your knee, so it's not actually sliding on the bone but on your thigh. So you have to bring your heel a little closer to your butt and then try to pull with your back. As you can see, my back is working like crazy here. You want to feel the same pulling with your back rather than your hip. Don't worry if it feels difficult, you can push the hip down, probably gonna make it a little harder in a sense of more friction on the floor. But again, if it's too hard, just do the inchworm, so just walk up closer to the hands. It's gonna do the same, it's easier variation, it's more on the abs rather than the back, but it's still great exercise to work the back side. Okay, now here, the last 8 on the prone twist. So what you're going to do is really trying to push the hip down as much as possible and squeeze the glutes, because this is the last run. As you can see now, I'm just really want to work on the upper body and keeping the glutes and my hip tied down on the floor. But I'm much less flexible on this run, on this variation. But hey, that's what you want to do. You want to train your posterior chain, you need to work for it. Okay, last couple reps. And we get a minute break. And time. Good. So 1 minute break, drink some water, pause the video if you have to. If you have to take 2 minutes break, take 2 minutes break. I'll see you soon. Get ready soon, you get 15 seconds back. It's gonna be a little bit easier run. It doesn't mean it's gonna be too easy. So we're gonna do a pistol squat, a reverse plank, and a plank knee tuck. You're gonna need the chair here, somewhere around your knee level. But anything below that is just to make it even harder. As you can see, it's below my knee, and I'm really struggling with this. But just find something you can sit on, and then we're gonna do a single leg. You want to keep the other leg straight in front of you as much as possible, and then stay close to the bench, or you can do it on the sofa, on the chair, whatever. Just stay as close as you can with your heel, and you want to sit back as much as possible. You can practice just with 2 legs first, sit down, and then get back up. What you really want to do this on 1 leg, so you can choose with the higher chair, and then every week just go lower a little bit. Don't worry if you lose your balance. As you can see, I'm struggling with this as well a lot. It's a bit too low for me, especially on my other leg. My ankle mobility is not the best, but we use what we have. And then we're gonna do into a reverse plank tuck, which is you're gonna go into like a push-up position, but reverse. So you're gonna be in elevation, like you would do like a tricep bench tricep push. So set it up, go in a straight line from your heel to the shoulders. You want to really focus on squeezing your glutes together, and then we're gonna lift the toe, lift the knee close to the chest without dropping the hip. We're gonna do 5-5 each leg, and then we're gonna do a plank tuck. Same here. You want to go and touch the knee to the elbow without dropping your hip down. You're gonna do it nice and slow. Make sure it's not a kick, but more like a pull, and then your upper body doesn't move. And just the knee, which is off the ground, you're gonna try to touch your arm. And we're gonna do 5-5. As you can see, still a strength repetition ratio. We're doing very low repetition, but as much control as possible. And this whole session is about controlling our body with low repetition, building strength around the joints, the big muscles. So again, back to the pistol squat. This is definitely the hardest for me, and probably for most people. This is a low bench for me. Anything below your knee is just getting hard and hard. If you have a good flexibility in your ankle, I see people who can push their knee over their toes without lifting the heel. They're gonna have much easier time with this. But still, your goal is to keep the back as straight as possible and sitting back on the chair as much as possible. So training the glutes, but this is really a knee dominant exercise because your torso is much straighter rather than the single leg squat we did in a previous round. That was more a bending over a hip hinge variation. This is a knee loaded variation, so it's more like a squat pattern. You're gonna feel it's like a front squat. You're gonna feel it more on your quads around your knee. And then here, try to push the hip forward, straight line from the hip to the shoulders, and then we tuck the knee. If it's too much, then you don't have to lift the knee. Yeah, be careful. Try to not slide down on the chair. You can just do without lifting, pulling the knee to the chest. You can maybe just do a straight leg lift, or just keep your leg on the floor and then just hold an isometric hold until like 10-15 seconds gone, like you would do dynamic. And then here again, upper body doesn't move. Try to keep stiff as possible, and then we're just gonna walk and try to pull, really pull with the abs, not kicking forward the legs, but controlling and focusing on the lower part of your abdominals. Okay, 2 rounds done. We have 1 more round. It's gonna be the last one. Try to do it best as possible. Make sure you're not sliding on the floor. Everything is nice and safe. Don't hit yourself. But if you lose balance, it's completely fine. Reset everything and then go back to it. Okay, 5 reps. Last one. As I said, start with your weaker side and then finish with the stronger leg. Try to push the knee out, as I'm trying to do here. Now you would be really tired. It's more than half an hour into a workout. But we only have 1 more round after this and we're done. This is a long workout with a lot of strength exercises, so this is not conditioned yet. You want to be controlled. It's not about how many repetitions you can do. It's about how much you can control your body without relying on your joints, but using your muscle and be able to control your body in any circumstances. So 5-5 done. We're gonna do it in reverse plank. Try to pull your shoulder blades together, chest up. Now it's gonna be a hard time to hold up your body because your whole leg is exhausted, your core is exhausted, your shoulders are exhausted. You want to push it through. Make sure your hip doesn't go down. It's hard to push it through, but I'm sure you can do it. As you can see, I'm having a hard time. If I'm having a hard time, I'm sure you're having a hard time as well. But that's why we're here. Probably swearing to myself or something here. You don't want to hear that. And then I'm going to show you a harder variation. This is way harder than on your arm because there's less room for your knee, but something you can still do. Here you can pull your butt a little higher. And again, same principle here, trying to touch your knee. You got 1 minute break now. And get ready for the last round. Hey, get ready soon, you get 15 seconds back. Again, we're gonna do 3 exercises back to back, a little more repetition. Probably the easiest round if you would start with this, but by now you will be very tired. So we're gonna do 10, and 20 repetitions. It's a little bit more repetitions, but it's an easier exercise so you can push it through. It's gonna be a single leg glute bridge. You're gonna do 10 on one side, 10 on the other. The hard part of this is keeping your leg alignment with the other. So don't swing your leg up to the ceiling. You want to keep it in front of you, and then the 2 knees should always be together as much as possible without swinging your hip. You know, when you're tired, it's gonna get hard, but it's doable. I mean, this is the hardest variation, so if you have to keep your leg lower or higher or bent a little bit, do your variation which allows you to do 10-10 on each side. Then we're gonna do a prone pull, so you're gonna lay down, get everything off the ground. This is a correction exercises for your shoulders. It's like a wall hinge on the floor, but also it works everything on the back side, and because you're tired already, those stabilizer muscles are getting worked as crazy. So it's lower back, glutes, hamstring, upper back, removing the shoulders. So do 10 on this, and then we're gonna do mountain climber. We're gonna do 20 each leg. So try to push this too. You don't have to touch your hand here. Try to still stabilize your upper body, so don't move too much. Now you just want to be sprinting as much as possible, but it's still around 20 seconds. So it's, let's say, a 200-meter sprint. So still working on those strength, repetition ranges, or explosive power. And then again, I'll show you from the side how to do the single leg glute bridge. You want to be a 90 degree in your knee, and then don't go too far from away from the knee, so the heel should always below your knee, the one which is on the floor. And then you just want to move your hip up and down. Try to touch the floor, boom, come back up, touch the floor, come back up. Your shoulder line should be laying down on the bench, and then you should tuck your chin, looking forward as much as possible. So don't let your head fall back on the bench. And then fool yourself that your body is moving. You have to move your hip and thrust it forward. So once you've done the 10, you're gonna do the prone pull. Show it from a different angle. By now, like as you can see, I'm puffing here. It's getting harder and harder just to keep my body up. It requires a lot of strength, but you want to keep everything nice and tight in the back, so everything works isometrically. So just feel like you're not moving, so you're not doing much, but it's very, very difficult at this point. And then you just want to squeeze your elbows together as much as possible. Once you're done with 10, get ready for the mountain climber. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Each leg nice and tight. Hey, you have 1 minute left. Try to push this through. To get those 15-second break. Okay, let's get this done. Start with the weaker leg. Set up your shoulder sliding. Bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Boom. Switch side. Get it done quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really squeeze those glutes together. Almost there. You get 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and time. Good. Hey, you have less than 1 minute. 2 exercises. Done with this session. You can go to stretch. Boom. Push it away. Don't need it anymore. Done with that. Just gonna do the prone pull. Lay down. Squeeze. Nothing touches the floor on your belly, your hip, your thighs are off the ground, your knees off the ground, your ankles off the ground, your chest is off the ground, and then your arm is working. Boom. Think about pull up, boom, pull up, wide grip, pull down machine if you know that from the gym. You want to do 10 in this, and then the last 20. This is the killer here. You can push it through. Hey, 10 seconds and you're done with this session. Almost there. Carry to last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Nice. Hey, congratulations. You went to a strength session. All done. You can go to stretch. See you on the other side. Hey, well done, you made it. So welcome to the stretching session. It's not going to be a long stretch. It's not even called quote unquote stretch. We do dynamic work or dynamic stretching here. So I'm just gonna do a knee swap. I'm keeping my feet on the floor, and I'm doing hip mobility basically, just to get blood back to where it was before. If it's maybe more blood in the quads than it should be, and I just like to get loose and back to normal where I was before I started training. And then I do some roll into a 1990 sit, and I'm gonna finish up with a push through, like a hip thrust forward. I'm gonna do a couple on one side, a couple on the other. It's really, I'm just going for feeling here. If I don't feel tight or I don't feel I have to do more, I just cut it. If you feel like you need to do more, or you feel like your body is not how it should be, then you just get a couple more. There is no limit on this. You can do 1 minute on this, 10 seconds, 2 minutes, how much you like. I like to stretch my back as much as I can, reach back as far as I can, using my hip, checking if there is any problem, or I feel any tightness, something is just not right. I'm gonna try to stretch that area out, but again, still moving my body instead of just staying into the stretch. Same here, I'm gonna just going back to this frog stretch. I'm gonna really pushing my knees out and then try to sit down in my hip, and then I'm gonna go into this prone cobra. I'm not really good in yoga names, but I just try to stretch my back as much as I can, and I stretch my back. I'm gonna stretch my front as much as I can, and I'm doing it in a fashion where I'm just start from the hip, push it forward, and I'm stretch my abs on the way up, shoulders, squeezing the tricep. Just gonna do a couple on this. Once I feel fine, I'm gonna just stretch my quads and my hip flexor. So I just try to grab, like, see, and this leg is very tight. So I'm gonna just try to pull it, move it around, see if there any tightness, squeeze my glute forward, stretch the hip flexors, and I just switch side, check if any problem there. This looks a bit easier, so I don't have to spend any time on this. I'm gonna move to another one. It's basically what I'm doing here because I have the elbow injury, so I'm just gonna do this tricep extension, call it whatever you want. I just want to move my elbow as much as I can to see if it's still tight, also in my shoulder. So I'm doing this back stretch, so it's basically just stretching your shoulder and your chest muscle, and then also going into a very deep stretch on the elbow. And just see if it's any problem there. I'm going different angles, just see if it's everything fine. You can do this on a wall. That's a bit harder. This is an easier variation. Again, this is not really for static stretching because you just finished the workout. I just want to stay loose, and then later on the day I might do the flexibility session, which you can see on this workout routine, this training plan. That's a longer, proper holding for poses, 4 minutes. But this is different. This is just end of the session, and here I just want to relax, catch my breath, belly breathing, switching back to sympathetic nervous system, and start recovering. hey, that's all. It's a 5-minute stretch. Do this after every workout. Start recovering as soon as possible and get ready for the next one.